What's going on, guys? The Negro Shot here, and I finally beat Sonic Forces. Sonic Forces is the first Sonic game that I've actually bought with my own money since I want to say 2008 when Sonic Unleashed came out. I played Sonic Generations, I think like 2 or 3 years ago over PlayStation Now, and just a little bit of time that I got to play Sonic Generations, I enjoyed that game. But again, I didn't really purchase that game with my own money. I rented the game for a few days. I didn't end up beating it because I didn't have enough, I didn't have enough time to beat Sonic Generations. But I did get to beat Sonic Forces just today, and I kind of want to give you guys my quick thoughts on this game. And honestly, I think this is probably the best Sonic game that we have had to date. As far as these last few years, this is pretty much the best Sonic game in years, and it's been almost 10 years since I've bought a Sonic game. It just hit me the other day. So I want to say one of the reasons why that is the case is, for one thing, the Sonic games, after Generations, and this might be, I think this might be a very popular opinion, I guess. After Sonic Generations, the Sonic franchise kind of went to crap. Um, After Sonic Generations, back in, I want to say 2013, Sega struck a deal with Nintendo. And that game deal, they had a game deal. They had I want to say a 4 or 5 game deal, and that's when they put out games like Sonic Colors, Sonic Lost World. They did a lot of Mario and Sonic collaboration games. Sonic Boom, Sonic. They had a lot of Sonic Boom sequels, and they basically struck this deal with Sega, so that basically all the Sonic games were coming on the Nintendo platforms. And as you guys know, I haven't bought a Nintendo platform since 2009, so even if I wanted to play those garbage games, I couldn't. But anyway, those Sonic Boom games were horrible. I heard that Sonic Lost World wasn't too bad. There was actually a few people that actually like Sonic Lost World, but for the most part, people weren't really feeling these new Sonic games. And that was like what four? That was like a 4 year span. So through those 4 years, and this is just my personal opinion, I guess, but I feel like Sonic has been very stagnant. Very stagnant. I feel like Nintendo basically held the character back. They held the character hostage. And then this year we got Sonic Mania earlier this year. And for those Sega Genesis fans, that was their game. That was their game. Me personally, I don't really like the Sonic Genesis games. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for saying a few things that I say in this video, but just know that this is just my personal opinion. I hate I hate classic Sonic. I don't really like classic Sonic, Genesis Sonic. I think it has a lot to do with just the fact that I grew up on Sonic. Like the first Sonic game that I played was Sonic Advanced, and the Sonic Advance games was really, to me, I think they feel a lot better to me in comparison to the Genesis games. By the time I played my first Sonic Genesis game, it was like I had to have been like 16 or 15 or whatever. And so those games, to me, I felt like they didn't age well. I felt like Sonic didn't control the way that he should. But see, that's just coming from my perspective. And there is a reason why I'm kind of bringing up the older sort of gameplay that is very prominent in Sonic Mania, because in Sonic Forces, the second Sonic game to come out this year, we have classic Sonic. Classic Sonic returned in Sonic Forces. And here's the thing, because if you guys go back and look at the reveal trailer for Sonic Forces, a lot of people, like the first time when we saw this thing revealed, we were thinking, oh my god, this is going to be Generations 2. And Sega, they were quick to point out that basically this wasn't Sonic Generations 2. And as I played throughout this game, and I got to, there's certain levels in this game that you got to play as classic Sonic, Genesis Sonic, and to be honest, they don't really work. They don't really work. They don't really work Genesis Sonic into the story the best way that they could have. It's kind of weird to see classic Sonic in this game. They refer to classic Sonic as other Sonic, which I always thought that they could just address classic Sonic as a younger version of Sonic instead of just saying other Sonic, like he's a Sonic from another world. He's basically a younger version of Sonic. So I don't know why they kind of chose to give him to try to say that he's from another dimension, like that's his purpose in the story. But he doesn't really serve a very big purpose in the story. I don't really understand. I don't really understand why they chose to bring classic Sonic back into this game. It's like they're trying to appease to Genesis classic Sonic fans in this style of game, which I think is very futile. It seems like Sega is trying to appease to two different audiences, to two different types of Sonic fans. And we saw a little bit of that in Generations, with the fact that there was the classic Sonic levels, side-scrolling platforming levels, and then we had the modern Sonic levels, the 3D levels. And this game does the same thing that Generations did. And I have to say that I did not like the classic Sonic levels in this game. I didn't really care too much for it in Generations, but it made sense in Generations because Generations was a celebration of both Genesis Sonic. It was a celebration of Genesis Sonic, modern Sonic. It was a celebration of Sonic in general. Whereas Sonic Forces isn't Generations 2. And like I said before, Sega was quick to point that out, so I don't know why Classic Sonic is in this game. It's kind of pointless. They're trying to serve two fan bases, and to be honest, the Genesis fan base, like the retro Sonic fans, they weren't gonna like this game. Let's be honest, they weren't gonna like this game to begin with. I really don't think that a lot of those fans even purchased this game or thinking about purchasing this game. I mean, to be honest, I just think that they should have scrapped, they should have taken out anything that they should have taken out any classic Sonic stages, any 2D stages. They really just need to get away from all of these all the side-scrolling stages and stuff. Just go full 3D. Just go full modern. Stop trying to serve two fan bases, because I don't think that this. I think that is something that this game. I think that is something that this game, I personally did not like. I personally didn't think it did it too well. There are a few side-scrolling stages, mainly the challenge levels, the bonus levels, that I found enjoyable, but mostly the ones with classic Sonic, like I said before, I didn't really like it. It's just the way that classic Sonic feels in this game, and there are gonna be people that played the Genesis game, that played Sonic Mania and all the other Sonic games back in the day, that are gonna say that this isn't how that version of Sonic is supposed to feel. But to be honest, it feels just as bad to me. I mean, to me personally, I've said it before, I don't like the retro Sonic, but even in this game, it just feels bad. Classic Sonic feels very, very slow. He feels slow, and his jumping just feels very floaty. And just like I said, there are these side-scrolling portions in this game that just aren't as fun as the full 3D segments, and so I think that it kind of hurts this game, or at least for me it does. And then another thing that kind of hurts Sonic Forces is just the fact that the stages are so short. I mean, basically every stage is almost 2 to 3 minutes long to me, almost. I mean, and they can be even shorter if you've played through the stages before, and if you're very good at the game. And the game isn't difficult. That's another thing. I played the game on its hardest difficulty, and it's just not hard. It's laughably easy. And I'm not gonna say that I'm the best at Sonic games because I'm not, especially the 2D Sonic games. But this game was just laughably easy. I mean, the longest stage in this game was was the final stage. The final stage of this game was, I think, so it took me about 25 minutes to beat the final stage of this game. And like I said before, it's the longest stage of this game, and it's probably the hardest, but that's not really saying much. Because like I said before, the game isn't difficult, it's very easy. And the thing that really frustrates me about Sonic Forces is just the fact that the game seems to reward the player for not doing well. For instance, I would get an S rank on a stage I died 2 times on and didn't finish as quickly, whereas I would try the stage again and then I get an A, even though I cleared the stage faster and I didn't die at all. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And like I said before, on the final stage, I died. So this is another thing that kind of was kind of weird. I just thought this was kind of weird. I beat the final stage. I beat the final stage. I died 7 times, and it took me 25 minutes to beat it. But the game gave me an S rank. I died 7 times. It took me 25 minutes to beat it. How in the world do I get an S rank? The ranking system in this game is broken. Or just the way that they implemented it is just stupid. And this is supposed to be on the hardest difficulty that I played the game. I mean, it is so easy. I mean, I get that these games are meant for children. They're kind of they're geared toward children. So I guess that's the reason why everything is so easy. But still, I mean, they could have had some sort of challenge in this game. Like I said before, stages are so short. The game is very easy. Uh, the music in this game is very hit and miss. I usually like Sonic music, especially going back through those older games, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Secret of the Rings, and stuff like that. I actually expected. So here's the thing. I expected I expected this game to have a rock soundtrack. I expected this game to have a rock soundtrack, but instead I start hearing dubstep techno music, and I wasn't really feeling it. There were some songs that I liked, but then most of the music there was like some songs that I did not like. I like the main theme of this game. It's pretty catchy, the main theme of this game. But overall, I would have to say that the music in this game is just hit and miss to me. Um, One thing I do have to say about the story. I mean, I'm not gonna really judge this game. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not gonna really judge this game very harshly when it comes to the story of this game, because it's meant for kids. I mean, the dialogue is very Saturday morning cartoon cheesy. I mean, the dialogue is really bad, but I mean, it's meant for kids, so I'm not gonna really, judge it too harshly. I'm not gonna really complain about the story. The story is just, your run of the mill, Eggman has hatched a new plan, and Sonic's gotta stop that plan. And this I will say this much, the story's kind of darker for a Sonic game, and they do kind of try to lean heavy into this sort of wartime aesthetic. But it's still a Sonic game. It's your basic Sonic story. It's entertaining to watch, I guess. But like I said, the dialogue in the game and all the other stuff, it's very cheesy. It's what you expect from a Sonic game. So I'm not gonna really talk too much about the story of this game. You're a created character in this game, and that I feel like the character creation in this game is very limited. But they do give you a lot of different gear to try and put on your character and stuff. Um, I do kind of wish that you could change the color of your gear and stuff like that. But overall, I felt as though your created character, he always played second fiddle to Sonic, and I'm not gonna really fault the game for that, but it's just like certain things that Sonic can do that I wish that your created character can do. Like you can't curl up into a ball and kind of do that dash mechanic that Sonic does that I kind of felt like our main character should have done. It's sort of the way that they kind of split the different mechanics in this game that kind of also kind of bugged me because with your main character you can like collect these wisp things, and with these wisp things you basically get these different powers. So like there's one power that you can like hold a button and it'll zap you through rings and stuff. There's another power that you can use fire and it'll like jet you up into the air. There's another power that allows you to like turn invisible or whatever. There's all these different wisp and all these different powers that you can use with your character and you can also use his hook shot, his hook shot basically to kind of get you around his grappling hook. I really should have said. You can use his grappling hook to kind of like get to different locations throughout each level. Like I said, I felt like the character customization was very limited though, but I do like the addition of being able to create your own character. This is something that a lot of Sonic fans have always wanted, was the ability to basically create your own character. But I feel as though even your created character, like I said, he really plays second fiddle to Sonic, in terms of the story. Whereas I kind of felt like I thought that our main character would be a little bit more into the forefront, whereas it feels like Sonic and classic Sonic and then your created character, they do kind of share that spotlight, and I think that Sega didn't want Sonic to be kind of overshadowed by your new character, and they do kind of say that your character is kind of a rookie character, and I do kind of wish that I kind of wish that Sega and Sonic Team would allowed us to kind of change the personality of our created character, because there's a lot of things that happen throughout Sonic Force's story that I kind of wish that I could have changed the way that my created character reacted to certain things that happened throughout the story, whether it been something that Sonic or Tails or somebody said to my character, and the way my character reacted to what they said, or what something happened, something that happened throughout the story. I just wish that they would have went the extra mile to allow our character to have a bit more personality. I get that they didn't want our created character to overshadow Sonic, but it's just like our created character is very paper thin. It's very one dimensional. It's very paper thin character, and that might be intentional, but our created character literally has a set personality and has a set response. Uh, in response to things that happen throughout the story. And I just kind of wish they would have went the extra mile, allowed us to choose a dialogue option, maybe have dialogue options, maybe just allow players to change the personality at the start of the game of our characters, so that it kind of changes how our character reacts to certain things that will happen throughout Sonic Force's story. They could have done a lot more with the created characters. Is basically what I'm trying to say. But I do like the addition. I will say I do like the addition of the created character, but I don't like but I just don't like, I don't think the execution is as good as it could have been with this created character option. But it's a step in the right direction, I think, and I think this is something that was more Sega kind of testing the waters to kind of see if character customization would work, and how the fans would respond to it. So I think the next step, if there's going to be a Sonic Forces 2, or for any new game they're gonna do, is to kind of build on top of this character customization and all the new mechanics that came with the character customization this time around. So overall, I gotta say that Sonic Forces, it's a very mixed bag. I don't really know how to score it. I really don't. There's some stages. There's actually some stages in this game that I liked, that I enjoyed, but there were some stages that I didn't. Like I said before, the Genesis stages, the 2D, not 2D, but the side-scrolling stages, the Genesis stages, stuff like that. Those weren't stages that I really didn't like. Those were stages that I didn't like. Like I said before, the stages were just too short. And this game will probably take you. I think this game will probably take you maybe like 5 to 7 hours to beat. It's a very short game, but I think there's a little bit of replayability. You can go throughout the levels and try to beat your own time. There's these SOS missions, which I kind of feel like the SOS missions are kind of pointless. You just kind of redo the level with a different character or with a custom created character or whatever. The SOS missions are kind of, they're kind of useless, kind of pointless. There's daily challenges to unlock new gear and stuff. I did a few of the daily challenges, and then there's also these set challenges that they have for like each stage throughout the game. And completing these challenges will allow you to unlock new gear and stuff. But overall I thought that this game was pretty decent. Like I said, I think this was the best Sonic game. This really is the best Sonic game in a while. But that's not really saying much, because I think that Sonic should be way better than what it is now. And I think that Sega did a bad job. It was a poor business decision, uh, getting into bed with Nintendo back in like 2013, 2012. And so we're kind of getting modern Sonic back on track.